Hello, I'm Will. Welcome to NYY Eye Test Baseball. Today is the 29th of September, 2024. Yankees just finished their regular season's play and finished a three-game series, the last season series of the year against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Yankee Stadium. Yankees win this one 6-4. They take the last game, they salvage the finale. Pirates still win the series. But overall today, a much better game and a nice way to head into the postseason, a nice way to finish off the regular season with a win for the Yankees. Overall today was a lot better than Game 2, a lot better than Game 2. On the pitching side, on the whole, a lot cleaner baseball, a lot of zeros put up. Even though there was, Schmidt was, I think, struggling with the grip of the ball, and Schmidt was a little bit erratic at times, as well as lighter. But after that, only Weaver gave up that one hit and then many zeros for the Yankees. So it was really good to see some good, clean pitching, good, clean baseball, and some solid offense as well. Only 5 hits, but 6 runs and some timely hits for the Yankees. And I thought overall much more energetic than yesterday. So starting with the pitching, was Clarke Schmidt on the mound for the Yankees. 4 innings, only 3 hits given up, but 4 walks and then 4 runs. So, got himself in a few dicey situations with some hit batters, with 2 hit batters and then 4 walks. That allowed the Pirates to get that big hit to be able to drive in some runs. Palacios had that double, and then Triolo hit that sacrifice fly. And then Barton as well with the double to score 4 runs. There's a lot to say about Schmidt's outing. Overall, he had some really nasty curveballs. That curveball, when he gets it right, looks absolutely disgusting. He's got fantastic shape to that pitch. It's got great spin to it. It moves the right way. It looks like a fastball darts out of the strike zone. Very, very effective to lefties. Threw a really good one there in the first inning to strike out Cruz. Had a nice cutter working as well. That's such an important pitch. I always say that Schmidt's cutters, he uses it very much like a high fastball. Right? He throws it up in the strike zone. That's when it's effective, and he gets a little bit of rise to it. You see a lot of hitters swing underneath that cutter. That's a very effective pitch, and he uses it slightly differently, right? Less of a cutter that kind of moves in, but kind of stays on its plane, kind of like a four-seam fastball, how Schmidt uses his cutter. There was a ton of swing and miss. There's a good amount of swing and miss today in his outing. His stuff, when it's thrown in the strike zone, when he gets into the areas he likes it, it's still nasty. That's a great sign. The only thing today with Schmidt was he couldn't really grip the baseball. It led to the walks. I think that was something to do with the rain, so I don't think that's an area of concern for Schmidt going forward. Because it was the rain, he was struggling a little bit. Even the Pirates starter, who pitched 3 innings, had 3 walks as well, and struggled for command as well. So I think that was just the rain going on. That was the rain. It was difficult to grip the ball, hit batters, walks, things like that. So I don't think there's anything of concern. But when the stuff is in the strike zone for Schmidt, very effective. That's a positive, right? And that tells me that stuff is good. The stuff plays. He had that big meatball that he gave up, and it's always dangerous when you walk a bunch of guys. You put guys in scoring position, just one mistake and one bad mistake, runs can score, quite a few of them. And that's what we saw with that bad, really bad cutter that Palacios just hammered in that 3rd inning. Yeah, but overall I thought maybe be a little bit more aggressive with that cutter at times. A lot of off speed. When he was struggling to find the strike zone, went to a lot of off speed to try to find the strike zone. I thought, you've got to pitch with that cutter, force those guys to hit their way on, because that cutter plays as well. It's a good pitch, and it's going to set up the other pitches. But overall, it's key that Schmidt has come back. Maybe he won't start in the postseason. Who knows? But if he can be part of that bullpen, he's going to be very effective. He's an excellent pitcher. He's a very good pitcher. There's no doubt about that. Leiter came in, 1 hit, a couple of walks. With Mark Leiter, his splitter is fantastic. His splitter's never been the problem with Leiter. He's got an excellent splitter, a swing and miss splitter. That's a great pitch for him. Sometimes a little bit too many. I thought in that at bat against Bart, you've got to also pick up the swing of the hitter. If the hitter's starting to time up and he's starting to sit on that splitter, you have to go to another pitch. And that's where he has to have that confidence and the ability to be able to throw other high-quality pitches for strikes, to be able to get outs in the strike zone or getting chased up in the strike zone. Right? That's why a good four-seam fastball, a good sinker is critical. And that's one of Leiter's weaknesses, is that fastball. He's got a great splitter. He'll get plenty of swings and misses with it. But he doesn't have a great setup pitch with the fastball. It's not great. 92-mile-an-hour sinker. He needs to hopefully put on a little bit of velocity. If he does so, he's got plenty of strikeouts. He's going to be really, really tough to hit. If he can get a few ticks on that fastball, and that can become a legitimate pitch, or at least become a pitch where guys can't just sit, guys can't just hammer it, right? Guys can't just square it up easily. You're getting foul balls. Guys are late on that pitch, struggling to catch up to a little bit, right? It provides extra protection for that splitter, which is critical. Yeah, because at times when he needs to speed up the bat of the hitter, right? Hitters are sitting soft. You want to speed up the bat of hitters. You need that good fastball. That good fastball is critical. So I hope we see Leiter in the off-season work on that a little bit. Add a few ticks to that fastball. That's going to really help him. The curveball was good, actually. He threw a few of them. It's a tricky pitch, because that's a pitch where he doesn't throw very hard. And if you leave it over the plate, that's going to get hit. Because, again, with a curveball, immediately out of the pitcher's hands, you can pick it up. So the margin for error is less. Right? The margin for error is less because it gives the curveball slow enough to give the hitter enough time to be able to adjust. So you have to get it in the right location. If you miss, you don't have much margin for error. That's going to be hit hard. But he was able to throw a few good ones there to get out of to be able to work a scoreless inning, which was huge. With Hamilton, with him, again, he's always got a good slider. His slider's always been very good. It's been his best pitch. With Hamilton, it's a similar story to Mark Leiter. Hamilton's got the good fastball. He's got good velocity on it. But the question is, can he throw that pitch for strikes? Is he able to locate that properly? Can he use that aggressively as well? Because he's got a good fastball. Can he use that well up in the strike zone to help set up that slider? That's critical. If he doesn't have that fastball, it's going to be a much more difficult outing. He's much more susceptible to hits, much more susceptible to hitters starting to time up the slider. And because he throws so many, if they start timing up that slider, it's going to get hit hard. So you need a pitch just to get the hitters off of the slider a little bit. But yeah, so in the postseason, you hope to see more consistency with the fastball. With Meza, again, you hope to see, you want to see 93, 94, a little bit of extra velocity with his pitches. That's going to help him a lot. Hopefully, we can see that in the postseason if he gets a few opportunities to pitch. Get a little bit of extra velocity. He needs a little bit of extra velocity. He needs all the help with the velocity, right? 94, 95. He needs to be sitting around that area. He's going to be fairly effective if he can sit around 94, 95. We saw a few nice backdoor pitches, backdoor sinkers, right? Where hitters hit over the top of the backdoor sinker. It was a nice pitch for Meza today. Nice slider as well. Got a swing and miss with the slider. If he can work in that pitch, he can be a very, very solid pitcher. He's had some really good years with the Blue Jays. And he can be an effective piece for the Yankees. He's struggled this year for sure, but he's got some decent stuff. It's certainly nothing to kind of scoff at, nothing to brush over, because he's got decent stuff. Weaver looks a lot better. Fastball looks crisp. Not only that, but with Weaver, he's coming into the closing position. He's pitched really well. We're seeing the stuff sharper, more zip to the fastball, more life to the fastball, but then more consistency finding the strike zone, and not only finding the strike zone, but quality pitches within the strike zone. Very impressive from Weaver. And he threw that one cutter, had some great shape to it. Really nice shape to that pitch, that cutter that he threw to a righty. That's an encouraging sign. If he can get a good cutter combined with this very good changeup, excellent fastball, he's going to be very, very tough. And we need him in the postseason. That bullpen's a big question mark. If guys produce, if guys like Weaver are able to produce, well, the bullpen that's going to be a huge boost for the bullpen. But if they don't, we're going to really struggle. Holmes today, actually, I thought Holmes pitched one of his better outings of the year. I thought he pitched actually very, very solidly. He had some good sinkers. Throughout the year, the struggle for Holmes has been consistency with the sinker. Can he consistently get good movement on a sinker? Not just a running sinker, but a sinker that actually sinks and tumbles. That's been the question mark for Holmes. And he did well. He did well in this outing. 11 pitches, 1 strikeout, 7 strikes, 11 a couple of ground balls. You saw a lefty hit the ball on the ground, which is a good sign, right? That Holmes faced. And actually, quite a few of his sinkers actually had some really good movement to it. So that's very, very positive, and that's a great sign. You want to see him with more consistency with the sinker. Slider as well, to Cruz, quite effective. Yankees have been throwing him a lot of off-speed pitches down in the strike zone. From righties facing O'Neill Cruz. A lot of sliders down in the strike zone. He's been pretty susceptible to some of those pitches down in the strike zone. He's been really out in front of a few of those. But a really nice outing for Holmes. I'm very impressed by the way he pitched today. And it looks like, possibly leaving that closer role has just taken a little bit of burden off his shoulders and allowed him to be more consistent with mechanics. I don't know, but overall better. On the hitting side for the Yankees, only 5 hits today, but there were some standout performers. I thought Torres was excellent. Torres is excellent. His approach ever since getting onto the leadoff spot, I think being in that leadoff spot has allowed him to simplify his approach. Being in that leadoff spot has just helped him regain some of those good habits that helped him succeed in 2018, 2019, and which is right field. He benefits tremendously from using right field in Yankee Stadium. Doesn't hit the ball extremely hard. I've said this before. But with that short porch and his ability to go the opposite field, he benefits enormously, and his power will benefit enormously. And we're seeing that approach. And if we can get somebody, we've struggled in the leadoff position the whole year, but if Torres can be consistent in front of Soto and Judge and get on base and put pressure on the opposing pitchers, that's huge. That sets the table up for Soto and Judge and for Stanton, to drive him in. That's key, and he's looked so much better as Torres at the plate. Just consistently quality at bats now, a lot more quality at bats, and you're seeing some of the talent that he does have. Right, this isn't a guy that hit 650 and we're expecting him to hit 800. Right? He's a very solid, all-star player. Can be an all-star player, very, very a good player. Grisham today also had a good approach. He's been struggling against some of the off-speed pitches over the last few games. Today, didn't wait around. Looked for that first pitch fastball he got, hammered it to right field. He's looked great. He looks great on some of those fastballs. And 2 runs against that slider as well. Just got it off the end of the bat, kind of off balance, but just had kind of the right approach and got just enough of the slider to be able to find a hole and to drive in a couple of runs. He isn't great against off speed, but if he can, ambush a fastball at times, he can be an effective hitter. And I like the little bit more aggressive approach there from Grisham, not just letting opposing pitchers lay one in there because he likes to walk, right? Looking to take the attack against the opposing pitchers. Really nice job by Grisham today. Looking up and down the lineup, the bottom of the order, a lot of guys, I wrote very similar things. Volpe, a couple of walks. There are a few walks scattered in here and there. But from Dominguez, Birdie, Verdugo, Volpe, Rice, Trevino, all those guys are struggling, a decent amount, timing up the baseball right now, trying to find some rhythm. They're definitely, struggling a little bit. I will briefly talk about Verdugo. 1 hit, a couple of runs, a huge hit for Alex. What I've seen from Verdugo over the period he's been struggling, he's just struggled mightily to time up a fastball. He's struggled mightily to time up a fastball. For some reason, he just cannot hit a fastball right now. I don't know what it is. He cannot get on top of it. He's struggling. He's chasing out of the zone more. He's struggling to catch up to a fastball right now. He was able to get a fastball, just pull his hands in enough, just get enough on that fastball to find the hole. A nice approach there, a big hit that I think will do his confidence a little bit of good. But for some reason, Verdugo just has not been able to hit high heat, not been able to keep his bat, in plane, not been able to elevate that pitch. That's been a pitch that the fastball's been a pitch he's really struggled with over this period of time where he's not performed well. But a big hit for Verdugo, and the Yankees were able to generate some offense through some good timely hitting today. 3 for 6 with runners in scoring position, so a nice change. That even though you only have 5 hits today, it's still quite satisfying with some of those hits with runners in scoring position. Very satisfying. So overall today, right, Yankees kind of the B team today. No Judge, no Soto, right? A lot of guys kind of the B team because it was a meaningless game. Technically speaking, it didn't mean anything for the standings. But overall today, I thought the Yankees, only 5 hits, but the Yankees played with a lot more energy. And from the first pitch, from the first inning, they were locked in. They were a lot more locked in than in game 2. And that's a great sign, right? You like to see the even in a game that doesn't mean much, you like to see the players putting in that effort, putting in that energy, immediately coming in. This is what we need to do in the postseason. Start aggressive. You have to start and put the pressure on the other team with quality at bats in the first inning. You cannot wait until the 4th or 5th inning to wake up. And sometimes you aren't going to be able to pick up hits. Sometimes you aren't going to be able to score runs. That happens, right? We have nasty pitchers that you have to face. But there's no excuse for not putting up quality at bats, or not fighting at least. And not bringing in the energy immediately. There's no excuse for that. So better energy. That means the Yankees score first. They put the pressure on Pittsburgh. They haven't done so in the whole series. They've done very little of putting pressure on Pittsburgh in this whole series. And so we saw, right, Pittsburgh answered back. They looked in pretty good rhythm. But once the Yankees scored again, right, and kept the pressure on, kept it close, they kept it close. The Pittsburgh Pirates started to lose some of their offensive rhythm. And when they start to lose a little bit of that rhythm, pitching becomes easier, becomes much easier. And you saw a lot of our Yankee pitchers pitch a bunch of zeros, put up a bunch of zeros, right? So it's so critical. If you want to knock the rhythm and knock the momentum, you want to sort of disrupt the momentum of the other team, you have to put their pressure on first. You have to score first. You have to help out your pitchers, take pressure off of your pitchers. That's critical. And the Yankees did that well today. So important. When the Yankees score in front, if they get out in front, they score early, they tend to be pretty successful, right? And that's why, in my opinion, that's why they've played so well on the road this year and not so well at home, because on the road you get the bat first. I think the Yankees really like to bat first with Soto and Judge in that first inning. I think they really like to do that. They like to get out in front. So hopefully that aggressive mentality, being locked in from the first pitch, hope that continues for the Yankees. Yeah, so overall, much better. Much better. Falter, Bailey Falter, somebody that doesn't throw a particularly hard fastball, but the fastball plays. It definitely plays, guys. Even at the top of the strike zone, it wasn't easy to get on top of. And on some of the hits that the Yankees did have against Falter was fastballs low in the strike zone, right? And a pretty good slider as well. Thrown pretty hard, not easy to square up, not easy to get underneath that slider, right? Very easy to hit over the top of it or swing and miss. So he's a decent pitcher. He's okay, right? I think he'll probably, throw enough strikes to be able to eat up some innings. Probably not particularly effectively, but I think the Yankees had a good approach, ambushed him at times, were patient, forced him back in the strike zone, had some opportunities. I think the Yankees did pretty solidly against Falter. So overall, yeah, a satisfying game. This is what I think as a really satisfying game, right? On the whole, pitching sharp. On the whole, pitching, kept it clinical, kept it quite tight. Not tons of walks, and 6 walks, yes, early on in the game, but overall, I attribute that a lot to the rain. But overall, pretty good, pretty clean pitching, and that's always really nice to see. And then some timely hitting from the offense. Had some opportunities, took advantage of some opportunities, right? Didn't leave. Worst thing you can see is that 8, 9 hits, 7, 8 walks, but only a couple of runs because we're 1 for 9 or 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So today was quite this was a much more satisfying win, much more satisfying game. So good game overall. Good way to enter into the postseason. And I think all Yankee fans, including myself, very excited for postseason play. Very excited for the Yankees to play the best teams and to compete against the best teams. And hopefully Judge can start to rewrite. He's been swinging. He had a bad game too, but he's been swinging the bat a lot better after that sort of mini home run drought that he had. So hopefully he carries that momentum into the postseason. That's going to be critical. Hopefully Soto finds that near MVP form again as well. He's been, I think, moving in the right direction, but still definitely not 100% with some of his batting. So very excited for the games going forward. But if you made it this far, please go ahead and if you have any thoughts, comments, suggestions, anything at all, please leave those in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.